It's the fourth Sunday of Lent, Laetare Sunday. Laetare in Latin means to rejoice. And although we may be rejoicing because it is the fourth Sunday of Lent and we're more than halfway through Lent, there's a much deeper reason for us to rejoice. So let's look at the gospel for this week. The gospel comes from Luke 15. It is the parable of the Prodigal Son. Many of us are familiar with it. It's the story of the father who has two sons, and the younger son asks him for his inheritance up front. He gives him the inheritance freely, and the son leaves and spends all of his inheritance right away, and not in the most charitable way, let's say. And he gets to the point where he's destitute, he's homeless, and he's living on the streets, and he's just beside himself. This is not what he imagined, and he becomes very remorseful. And he decides he needs to return to the father's house, to his father. And so he makes his way home, and as he makes his way home, the father sees him and runs out to greet him. The father is full of compassion and rejoicing because his son was lost and now he's been found. Of course, we also have the older son, and the older son has remained steadfast in home with the father and taking care of his property. And he becomes resentful and angry when he hears that there's going to be a celebration for his younger brother, when he's the one that has remained there. The father says to him, "Let us rejoice because your brother was lost and now he is found." And I think what the Lord is telling us is that no matter what, he's always calling us home. He wants us to come to the Father's house. So whether we have gone astray because of one bad decision or another, the Lord wants us to turn from that and to come back. If we are getting full of resentment and frustrations and anger, the Lord wants us to turn from that and turn back to Him. So let us rejoice in the fact that the Lord loves us and welcomes us home at all times.